All right, folks, what the hell is going on in the mortgage market? What are we are starting to see big banks exit. We saw Wells Fargo, and apparently there is somebody else who was just left. We actually have Dustin from Convey Home Loans on to talk about what he is seeing, why he actually called it, and what does it mean for mortgage in 2023. How you doing, Dustin?
Good. How are you doing, Mike?
I'm doing well, man. So Wells Fargo was originally, at least as of 2019, the largest originator of mortgage loans, has decided to exit the building. And you shared with me there was another large player who made that same decision. Why are all these people leaving mortgage? Is it just a bad business, or are they just bad at it, or what the heck?
Um, I want to say maybe it's both, honestly.
Maybe it's probably
I'm
both. Yeah.
Yeah, the way that Wells Fargo, operates, the amount of overhead that you need essentially to be profitable, and the originations that they specialize in are kind of most people, at least that go to Wells Fargo in the past, have been people that are clients of Wells Fargo that have some sort of depository relationship with Wells Fargo, right? And their play was always a little bit to, hey, we want to get the client to do a mortgage, but we also want them to bank with us. That's what a lot of retail banks do. That's why you see, if you go out there shopping and you're speaking to a retail bank or even a private bank, they'll give you what, a 1/4% discount if you deposit 12 months of payments, into their account, or what have you. But I think it does also kind of tie into the fact that, you brought it up with Adrian seeing the luxury market obviously hurting quite a bit. And we've seen that for the last 6 months, at least here in LA. Wells Fargo was always, or the Bank of Americas, et cetera, was always the bank that you went to if you were the guy that was worth 10 mil and you
Right.
wanted to get a rate that nobody else could get. Well, now they see that opportunity's gone, and they see that not a lot of people are going to be depositing money into their bank account just because to get a mortgage. So
Right.
their bottom line is obviously hurting because of that.
Yeah, Jonathan, thank you for joining. We're talking about Wells Fargo exiting the business. What does it mean? Why are they doing it? And the answer really seems to be it's a business decision, right? Wells Fargo, really all the big banks. With the advent of technology, the mortgage home buying experience has changed, and their antiquated systems doesn't make it easy for them. So I think what Charlie Sharp, the CEO of Wells Fargo, was saying is we're not good at this. We don't make a ton of money. There's not a lot of food on the table today. So why the heck are we there? Jonathan, you have any thoughts about that?
No, I mean, everyone's focused on deposits because that's where the banks make money, like Dustin said. But it's not just Wells Fargo. We actually had a couple of even our portfolio lenders that we had previously that were banks, smaller banks, give us a call, let us know that they're no longer doing wholesale. They're no longer
Well,
working with brokers, which, I mean, luckily we have a lot more options across the board. So it's good still, but at the same time, it is getting a little scary to see everything tighten up and for
yeah,
things to actually close out, because that means that it's the end of an era temporarily, right? Obviously, it'll be back in the next wave, but
sure.
in the meantime, we're in a situation where the banks and these people are going to stop competing, which is actually good for us as brokers, I think. Especially because a lot of them are only focusing on people that can do deposits versus
Yeah.
anyone that is a new client that is trying to buy. So obviously, like you said, it's a business decision. It's not a decision to help anybody else but themselves.
Yeah. When I look at this decision, first off, I think it's the right move for Wells Fargo and would be the right move for all the big banks. It's just the headache slash return equation is not it's not positive today. There are other places that they should be improving and making money. But when I step back as a borrower, it does limit who I can go to. And it just means that I need to work with more brokers, right? Which I think is the right answer all the time, because I don't think banks were ever the cheapest or the fastest unless you were worth 100 million bucks and they were trying to buy your business. Unless you were that corner case, which none of us are, they weren't the right option. So it is brokers like Convoy, because not only are pricing and all of that, but you are also creative, right? We go back to our very first conversation about being a make sense lender. And I think that's going to be a big deal in 2023. Why don't we talk about what you guys see evolving over the rest of the year? We'll go back to Dustin first.
No, I think we're like you just touched on, and we spoke maybe a couple of months ago about a report that came out with the amount of the market share that brokers have obviously taken from the bigger banks, and that's only going to increase now. And it rolls over to the fact that, you know, when you go to Wells Fargo, you got one option, you got one product, they're giving you that. You don't have any sort of wiggle room. If you can't fit in their box, well, then Wells Fargo can't get your business, right? So
Exactly.
going to brokers, I mean, the entire floor is open for how you want to qualify, how much you can qualify for, and let's just say any sort of exceptions that may be needed. You know, we'd be able to get, whereas, you know, exceptions on a Wells Fargo underwriter is not going to happen. So in 2023, I think, you know, brokers like ourselves are only going to see increased market share. Now, does that mean increased volume? Obviously not, because the market's not there right now, but it's something that we'll probably see. I want to say another one of the bigger banks do the exact same thing that Wells just did, whether it's a Bank of America or US Bank or, you know, one of those players.
Yeah, I agree. I think the mortgage market goes more of a broker route, just more flexibility. There's just other ways that the big banks, deposit banks, can make money. And right now, the carry trade is just printing money, right? They're paying us depositors 0.1, and they're making 5%. I mean, that's a 50x return. Why the hell would they do anything else? It's crazy. Jonathan, what do you think about 2023?
I think it'll, like Dustin said, be kind of it's a pivot. I think it'll be a pivotal market for a lot of brokers. This is kind of going to be the make or break type situation where you're going to see not just banks kind of shut down, but I'm already seeing across the board brokers start to shut down as well.
Right. Yeah.
There's just not enough volume. If they weren't prepared for this situation, this market, then they're really, really struggling right now. It's sad to see, but also at the same time, I think it's something we have to acknowledge, that we are in a situation where this is going to be a reality, and it's going to continue to be a reality, at least through the rest of the year. And funny because I'm at the Pineda conference, and he was of the mind previously that, oh, rates are going to drop, and Dustin and I were actually in the room and we had the conversation with him. Hey, rates are going to drop, but we told him, hey, it actually might not drop. It actually might continue to go up. And it's funny because he just got on stage right now and told everybody, hey, I think rates are going to be about the same and probably going to increase incrementally. So it's, we're seeing a lot of like people's and influencers and all those people's kind of mindset change for the rest of 2023. And I think it's something that we just need to get used to and acknowledge and find better deals, right?
That's the key. I mean, the whole key in this is never stop doing the work. I've said for a while now, the good operators are going to dominate. The people that got lucky or lazy or both, you're done. You're out of business. It doesn't matter if you're a real estate agent, a mortgage broker, a mortgage agent, an investor. A lot of us got lucky, and some of you got lazy last couple of years. The good operators are going to win. You got prepared. You understand your months of life. You have dry powder. You can survive the year, and this will come around, right? One of my folks say good times never last, but bad times never last also. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Where should people reach out? Because I'm telling everybody in this market, you need to have multiple people you speak with in the mortgage market, because you never know who may or may not stay around. So how should they reach out to you guys?
Get on convoyhomeloans.com and let us know you're coming from where we're at.
There you go. Simple. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.